Time now to get some more on big news out of Rome this morning. The announcement of a senior Roman Catholic cleric stepping down. For more, I'm joined by Europe correspondent Garth Bray. Good morning, Garth. Actually, before we talk about this Roman Catholic guy, you mentioned just before the ad break, Berlusconi stealing the election. I cannot believe that this is potentially going to happen.
Bunga bunga, yeah. Look, the latest word we're hearing out of Rome, and they are just exit polls at the moment after 2 days of voting in the Italian elections, is that Berlusconi's party, the centre-right party, is looking like it has a very slim majority in the upper house, the Senate. That's a problem because it could act as a bit of a block to any kind of reforms that the more left of centre parties and the centrists under a guy called Monti, who's been there, Mario Monti, for about 15 months since they dumped Berlusconi, or since he resigned and they replaced him with someone that wasn't elected. It could make it really difficult for them to try and push stuff through. Now, the exit polls are notoriously unreliable in Italian elections, as is so much else, it seems. But just the news that his party was looking like it was in the box seat to at least hold things back, if not hold power, was enough to sort of knock about 4 or 5 points off the Milan Stock Exchange. It's caused all kinds of ructions for Italy's debt spreads, I think, have shifted slightly. And it really has people slightly nervous, but we'll just sort of see what plays out in the next couple of hours and probably the next day or so.
Nothing indicating anything underhand about this at this stage? I mean, I don't know, does the party own the printing presses for the electoral forms or anything?
I guess what you've just got is a really deeply divided electorate. I mean, a lot of the protest vote, if you like, has been mopped up by this comedian. I'm serious. A stand-up comedian, a guy by the name of Beppe Grillo, who sort of exploded into popularity in 2009, won big in Sicily. He's been running around the place with this kind of like foul-mouthed tirade, but essentially it's the, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore vote. And something like 20% of the people might have got in behind him, and that's, I guess, left the scraps a lot more tight. And so I guess the left wing and the right wing parties have to fight even harder for the votes. The turnout's been down, so things are just very close. And when things are close, I guess if you've got a good political machine like Berlusconi traditionally had, he does own a lot of broadcast media and print media in Italy, it does give you that advantage. So he could well be in contention there to at least have a say in Italian politics once again. Wow. OK, let's talk about this Roman Catholic scandal then. This is effectively Britain's most senior Roman Catholic, is it, who's now stepped down, apologised, effectively confessed? Well, that might be going a little far, Rawdon. If what he's done, this is Cardinal Keith O'Brien, who was the Archbishop of Edinburgh. Look, 48 hours ago, this guy was just a fairly hard-line cleric in this country, the guy, I suppose, that journalists went to when they wanted someone to say something quite invective about, how stem cell research was sort of Nazi-like experiment or that basically homosexuality had no place in the church and so on. There have been a series of stories over the weekend that 4 priests or 4 people associated with the church have taken a complaint to the Vatican's representative here in London, saying that he was involved in inappropriate contact, nothing further than that. But in the space of that time, all of a sudden he's out of a job, basically. He had tendered his resignation to the Pope, effective on St Patrick's Day next month when he turns 75. But all of a sudden this morning the Pope came out and said, fine, we accept it, effective immediately, you're gone. Now, under Vatican law, he could still, as a cardinal, which is kind of like a life peerage, turn up and vote in this conclave that will be announced anytime soon when Pope Benedict steps down to essentially pick who will be his successor. But Keith O'Brien has said that he will take no part in this because he doesn't want, I suppose, the bad media attention that will swirl around that and the suggestions that he is in some way tainted. He's denying absolutely and quite strongly the allegations. He's looking at taking legal action against the people that have made those allegations. But it's a remarkable. Just before we came on air, I was speaking to a really prominent figure in a sex abuse survivors network here in Britain. Who deals a lot with people who've had trouble with the Catholic Church. And she said this is just unbelievable to have someone who hasn't actually even been, they're just allegations, hasn't been convicted, effectively being told by the Pope to step down and stepping out of this process. She thinks is quite a strong signal to the remaining cardinals that are going in there that they need to buck up their ideas and weigh this. And there are 2 other cardinals that are heading to that conclave from Ireland and from the US who No allegations against them, but certainly questions about how they've handled scandals in their own diocese, and she's saying, they may need to take note about all of this.
OK, confession possibly a little strong by me there, Garth, but thanks very much for putting that into perspective. Garth Bray, our Europe correspondent.